If you spend any time in city parks, particularly Rotary, you may have seen this. It's a group of ladies learning to hula hoop. They are members of a small class that meets on Sunday afternoons during the winter. They are one of several fitness and exercise groups that gather in the park, usually in the mornings or evenings, to work out. They pay a fee to a trainer, and that's where the trouble started. Marla Martin conducts workouts in the park. She and other trainers are the subject of apparent complaints about their overusage of the park.
I do use the park on a regular basis. I did start using the park when I was an employee of a gym in town, and it was never a problem back then. Why, when I went on my own, it suddenly became a problem? I had multiple people from the city warn me that there's been complaints, yet nobody can furnish these complaints. I went straight to the city today, talked to Luke. He is feverishly looking for these complaints. That last time we were here, you guys said all of this is complaint driven. So do we as citizens have a right to know these complaints?
That led to the City Parks Board and city staff looking into the question of usage of the parks for commercial purposes. Tuesday evening, Parks Director Dan Keys presented the board with a preliminary proposal to control commercial usage.
There's an application fee. There's an application fee, a non-refundable application fee of $25. Okay, that's the first and foremost thing. The second thing is that there's a question about, well, the permit. How much should that be? Well, we've asked that question to a lot of people because there's no one answer. And so how we got what we came up with, I'll tell you right now, it's $500 is what's on the draft. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to allow it in all parks. When somebody has a permit, what happens is they're going to have to give ground to general park use. So you don't have a specific site per se, at least according to this draft. You can't block access ways, and you can't be in parking lots, and you can't be on tennis courts or those items that have predefined use. You have to be in the grass area. Any applicant would have to have proof of insurance, and they would have to indemnify the city in that insurance certificate. The permittee may not display, place, or distribute any commercial advertising or signage. No amplification, whistles, or boom boxes. Equipment limited to weight of no more than 25 pounds.
Several people rose in support and opposition.
Do you think it is fair and equitable to the legitimate small business owner to allow fitness-related activities to use the parks as their venue to run their for-profit businesses?
The park is only so big, and there's only so many parks in Havasu to begin with. You know, what about somebody that wants to sell workout clothes or sunglasses? I mean, where does it stop? And pretty soon the park's going to be full of, it's going to be a real business park at that point. It'll be a true business park, everybody just conducting business.
What about photographers? What about the kayakers? What about the paddleboarders? You have all these businesses. I understand a business license. I totally understand that. I understand a vendor's license. Should there be some fee assessed? Yes. I'm not arguing that at all. How is this going to be enforced?
As you may recall, several years back, the city faced off with vendors, renting boats and jet skis along the shoreline of State Beach Park and Rotary. In the end, the vendors were sent packing, a city ordinance forbidding the use of the parks for commercial purposes without a special use permit, such as the one that Lucas Oil was granted to virtually take over all of the Rotary Park shoreline for the flatboat race. So, what's next? And if you permit exercise firms to use the park legally, how do you forbid other firms from expecting commercial access too? Hot dog carts, T-shirt concessions, and yes, even vendors who want to rent boats and jet skis. We'll keep you posted. Jim Matthews, Havasu Video News.